On the other hand, Liverpool hero agrees with Jamie Carragher on worry that Arne Slot must fix. Liverpool looked wide open at times during its league opener against Bournemouth, with Jamie Carragher speaking to Arne Slot about the tactics at the final whistle. Former Liverpool midfielder Didi Hamann has agreed with Jamie Carragher's assessment that the Reds need to tighten up at the back if they are to achieve their aims this season. Against Crystal Palace and Bournemouth so far in this campaign, with the first of those fixtures being the Community Shield, Liverpool has conceded 2 goals. Arne Slot's men have looked exposed on the counterattack at times, in contrast to the control they exerted in 2024-25. I think if you look at the 90 minutes, I think you never felt they were really in control of the game, Hamann said on TalkSport. This is something I think where they've been really good last season. It was end-to-end stuff. They struggled to create chances over the 90 minutes and also allowed quite a few. I think if you don't control games without the ball, it makes it even harder to control it with the ball. I think part of it, or the reason, was that defensively, they've been pretty fragile as they've been against Palace. Milos Kerkez struggled in both games so far. Jeremy Frimpong, for all his power going forward, his pace, he's not a right back. I think this is something they have to address because without Trent Alexander-Arnold in the team, I think the dynamics in the team will change. Liverpool has also taken too many risks in the final third. Against Bournemouth, when the ball was lost on the edge of the opposition penalty area, 8 outfield players were ahead of it. That left Antoine Semenyo a free run all the way to the other end of the field, where he put the ball past Alisson Becker. The other thing, I think in possession, they've been really good as well last season because they tire a team out and score late on when they faded, Hamann said. With Trent, you had one of the best ball players in the Premier League, a right back. He came inside sometimes. I think what happened with Trent in the team, because obviously a lot has been made, whether he's been missed or not, I think if Trent was on the ball and had a 3 or 4 yard space and a bit of time on the ball, I think what did happen, the teams dropped off because they knew if he needs to put a ball on a sixpence, he will do. I think what it did is it stretched teams, even by him being on the pitch and being in possession. I think it gave everybody else in the team a little bit more time in midfield and also up top because with his passing ability, he did stretch teams because people were scared of his passing. Obviously, this is something they won't have this season because Frimpong is a completely different player. Liverpool is next in action a week today with a trip to St. James Park to take on Newcastle United. It then hosts Arsenal the weekend after that. Situations like this are quite complex. These are extremely complex environments that the players operate in. I'm sure it will work out in the end, but you have to know the whole picture before you draw conclusions. That's always a good tip. I don't think we know the whole story. I don't know the whole picture either. It's quite normal because there's a lot of politics in a football club. But one thing is for sure. Alex is a great guy and very professional. We should all be very careful about drawing conclusions because we don't know the bigger picture. Sweden will face Slovenia and Kosovo in World Cup qualifiers next month. But it remains to be seen whether Isak will be involved if he doesn't play for Newcastle or Liverpool. In the meantime, to regain sharpness. There is time, Dahl Tomasson said. He is a professional and I know he has been training. Of course, he hasn't trained with a team and hasn't played any matches. Let's wait and see. We will have a good chat, Alex and I, and hopefully he will be back in team training soon. Newcastle fans turned on Isak in the away end, loudly singing about him being greedy. But head coach Eddie Howe then insisted that there was still a route back for the 25-year-old forward. Nothing has changed, Howe said. The door is well and truly open. He has to decide what he wants to do. We would like a resolution. We need that clarity. You don't need any kind of distraction. I am not in control of that. There is one person who can control that. Let's wait and see. I have made my stance clear. I am concentrating on the team. Alexander Isak, currently at Newcastle, continues to be linked with a move to Anfield, and his future is making waves in the early stages of the Premier League season. Earlier this month, Liverpool saw a bid for Isak rebuffed by Newcastle. As things stand, the Reds have no intention of tabling a second offer, given the decisive nature of the Magpies' rejection. Isak has been largely absent from the Newcastle squad throughout pre-season, and manager Eddie Howe chose not to field him during the team's 1-1 draw against Aston Villa in the Premier League over the weekend. Consequently, rumors continue to swirl about Liverpool potentially signing the Swedish international before the September 1st deadline. Regardless of who Liverpool might bring in before the transfer window shuts, the team can offer the ideal welcome present ready for a new striker. Since Darwin Núñez's departure earlier this month, the number 9 shirt has remained unclaimed in the Reds' ranks. With Isak strongly rumored to be heading to Anfield, it could be the perfect welcoming gesture if a deal can be struck. Liverpool also has the numbers 13, 16, 23, and 24 free for any new arrivals this summer, with the Reds also reportedly eyeing a new centre-back and a wide forward before the transfer window closes. Giovanni Leone became Liverpool's 8th summer signing on Friday, joining from Parma. The central defender has been handed the number 15 shirt, which has been unoccupied since Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's departure in the summer of 2023. "I'm very happy to be here. It's a really great sensation and I'm honored to be here," Leone told Liverpool's website. "Yeah, a lot of excitement. I'm so honored. I was very happy about Liverpool being interested. When I saw this, I said, wow, this is crazy. I'm very happy." He added, "I want to improve a lot with my new teammates in training and after on the pitch, in the Premier League and the Champions League. I'll watch the game against Bournemouth in the stadium, see the game, and then after the game it's a new journey." Sweden boss wades in on Alexander Isak transfer saga after talks with Liverpool target. "I know. Liverpool transfer target Alexander Isak has been criticized in some quarters for his actions this summer, but national team boss Jon Dahl Tomasson has stuck up for him." Sweden manager Jon Dahl Tomasson has leapt to the defense of Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak, who wants to leave the Northeast and sign for Liverpool this summer. So far, Newcastle has been unwilling to change its not-for-sale stance, with Liverpool having seen one bid turned down. But Isak missed the Magpies' goalless draw with Aston Villa at the weekend, and he has been training alone rather than with his teammates. "First of all, Alex is an extremely professional player," Dahl Tomasson told Fotbollskanalen. "A fantastic character and personality. I have spoken to Alex a lot during this period." Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Newcastle set to sign Alexander Isak's replacement as striker makes decision. Newcastle was held to a goalless draw by Aston Villa in its Premier League opener in Birmingham on Saturday, as Liverpool transfer target Alexander Isak missed the game. Newcastle was held to a goalless stalemate by Aston Villa in its Premier League curtain raiser on Saturday, despite controlling much of the proceedings. The Magpies were missing talisman Alexander Isak, whose future continues to generate speculation at both St James Park and Anfield. Liverpool continues to be linked with Isak, but it's unclear whether the Reds will make another transfer bid before the deadline of Monday, September 1st. Even without its main striker, Newcastle appeared poised to claim maximum points when Villa's Ezri Konsa received his marching orders with 25 minutes remaining. Nevertheless, Eddie Howe's players failed to breach Villa's new goalkeeper, Marco Bizet. The Magpies must now seek their maiden victory of the campaign next Monday when they welcome Liverpool for their inaugural home fixture. To boost their attack, Newcastle is nearing the acquisition of Brentford striker Yoane Wissa, as reported by the Daily Mail. The 28-year-old has been repeatedly linked with a switch to St James Park throughout the summer window. Newcastle is apparently reluctant to sanction Isak's departure to Liverpool without securing adequate cover. Following unsuccessful pursuits of Liam Delap, João Pedro, and Hugo Ekitike, Newcastle has now identified Wissa as its primary target, with sources convinced an agreement could be concluded this week. Wissa has completed 4 Premier League campaigns at Brentford, scoring 45 goals in 137 games in the division. Last season was his most successful in the Premier League, finding the net 19 times. In other news, Goncalo Ramos has confirmed his intention to stay at Paris Saint-Germain this season, despite speculation linking the striker with Newcastle. The 24-year-old became the most recent prominent striker to be linked with a switch to St James Park over the weekend, with national media reports indicating he had been presented to the Magpies. Nevertheless, The Portuguese international seems to have already quashed these rumors by telling journalists of his satisfaction at the Parc des Princes. "I'm ready when the team needs me. When I receive the ball like that, I score," Ramos stated. "Yes, I confirm that I am staying at PSG this season." Alexander Isak can grab dream shirt number at Liverpool if transfer goes through. Liverpool is still being linked with a move for Newcastle striker Alexander Isak, who wants to leave the Magpies this summer after winning the Carabao Cup last season. Liverpool still has some business to attend to in the transfer market, with one name persistently cropping up in the gossip columns. Thanks for watching. Like and comment and subscribe.